Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Winborn and I am a student here at Horry Georgetown Technical College. Together with my fellow students John Coleman and Jamie Turner, we are the members of the Technical Communication Research Committee at HGTC. This short presentation will highlight our recommendation report about improving the efficiency of the course registration process at HGTC. I am making this presentation with the purpose of describing the problems, what causes those problems, and to provide you with a recommendation of how to fix those problems. This is the outline for this presentation. I'll first provide you with some background information about what makes up the WaveNet system and how it's used by HGTC students and instructors. I'll then talk about what problems that we are having. Next, I'll discuss what causes those problems. And finally, I will conclude by presenting to you our recommendation for fixing these problems. In this first section, I will provide you with some background information about what makes up the WaveNet system and how it is used by HGTC students and instructors. The WaveNet system offers an abundance of capabilities that streamline the college experience. For students, it allows them to register for classes, submit homework assignments, email, keep track of their grades and degree progress, and make tuition payments. Instructors use it for tracking their students' attendance, grading homework assignments and test scores, email, and for assisting students in the registration process. This slide details the process involved when students register for courses. The college's internet service provider is Horry Telephone Cooperative, HTC. The WaveNet software installed on these various servers is provided by Elway Software Products. This software is responsible for handling user logins, displaying requested information, retrieving information from and updating the databases, and other related tasks. The operating system installed on all of the HGTC servers is the Green River Enterprise Linux operating system provided by Green River Incorporated. The server used to handle internet connection requests and for load balances is equipped with a load balancer add-on that distributes network requests to the appropriate servers. This diagram shows a typical internet connection request. First, a student initiates the request, which is sent to their ISP. Their ISP forwards the request to HTC, and HTC forwards the request to the college. Once HGTC receives the request, it is first sent to the load balancer. This load balancer is responsible for keeping track of the duties of the servers and how much workload each server has. This load balancer determines what action is requested, display a web page, a database connection, etc., and forwards that request to the appropriate server that can handle the task. The server receiving the task performs the operation and returns the request in reverse order back to the student. In this section, I will tell you what the problems we have are. We emailed a survey to 100 HGTC students. We received 62 responses. These are the problems that students reported having. Students sometimes have difficulty logging into WaveNet. While registering for classes, the system shows that seats are available, but the student is not allowed to register for that class. The time that it takes to drop a class and then register for the same course but at a different time can cause the loss of the class because the class is then full. Also, too many steps are required to register for courses. This slide shows the results of our student survey. Even though only 62 responded, some responded with multiple answers. As you can see, most students said the unreliability of the system during logging in was their major complaint. Other complaints revolved around the system errors. The issue we found to be of most interest was the too many steps required to add and drop courses. This seems like a viable area that we could seek more information on resolving. Next is the issues instructors have with the system. We emailed a survey to 50 HGTC instructors in which we received 32 responses. The main issue we discovered were the faculty's inability to override all the system errors, and the excess time spent trying to resolve these issues. Because faculty interacts with students when they are having problems enrolling into their class of choice, it makes sense that faculty would want to have full access to override the system and manage the student's schedule as needed. According to our survey, at least 35% of instructors that responded handled between 11 to 20 students' WaveNet-related issues in a 2-week span. As you can see in the second pie chart, most of these issues are in regard to the registration process. On average, the amount of time spent with students usually takes more than 20 minutes to resolve. If one instructor sees 10 students in 2 weeks with an average of 20 minutes spent resolving their issue, this results in over 3 hours if those instructors are separated from their primary duties. We found that a significant amount of instructors felt incapable of resolving all issues that were brought to them. Our numbers show that the instructors are capable of solving most issues, but the override requirements take even more time away from the instructor's duties by finding someone with the authority to override certain errors. Next, I'd like to talk to you about what is causing these problems. Our conclusion is that there are limitations on the system in place. HGTC has sufficient internet connection speed to handle the internet traffic volume even during heavy usage periods. The problems encountered are primarily related to heavy server loads and problems within the version of WaveNet software that is currently used by HGTC. The servers are operating with the load levels well above 100% during heavy periods of loads. This is causing the servers to occasionally shut down due to overheating. Specifically, these peak periods are experienced during registration. The load balancer sometimes cannot find a server that can handle requested tasks. This causes tasks to enter a K, creating a delay for the user until the load balancer can forward the request to a server. This delay occasionally causes the WaveNet software to discard tasks because they are not being serviced quickly. This results in the action desired by the user to fail to execute. The high server load levels and the overheating issues indicate that the servers cannot handle heavy workloads during peak periods, such as during student registration. The operating system used on the various servers is updated regularly through HGTC's license agreement with Green River Incorporated and is operating properly. The WaveNet software used on the server is an older version that was purchased in 2010. Our license agreement for this software includes minor updates but not major updates for newer versions. Our version of WaveNet is currently approaching the time when Elway's software products will cease to provide automatic fixes, updates, or online technical assistance. And finally, these will be our recommendations. The Technical Communication Research Committee has spent a considerable amount of time researching this problem. We unanimously recommend the following actions be taken. We believe that purchasing additional hardware would be the most beneficial to the registration system. This will help solve the delay problems that reduce server load levels. Though more expensive, by purchasing hardware based upon newer designs, we can take advantage of recent energy efficiency techniques. We also recommend that HGTC upgrade their WaveNet software to the current version. Upgrading WaveNet will allow HGTC to continue to protect its computer systems from harmful viruses, spyware, and other malicious software for at least several more years. We also believe that further studies should be conducted into implementing a registration wish list. If we could consolidate the steps required to add courses into a single step, it would result in easier registration for students. We also believe the frequency in which instructors receive registration training should be increased. With an ever-changing structure and major curriculum, instructors are unaware that some course areas should be overridden. We believe instructors with this knowledge would not only benefit from being capable of making more informed decisions, but also their time will be utilized in a more efficient manner. This concludes our presentation. We would like to thank you for your time. For more in-depth information about our research and findings, please contact Professor Bolton for a copy of our recommendation report.